Well, I guess it's a double dose. You got a midweek episode of the Drive and Dish NBA podcast, kind of a rare sighting these days. But I say double dose because you also have a six man, an unofficial six man of the Drive and Dish NBA podcast appearance on screen. WOKV's Chase Bunker. We're going to talk. This is going to be a shorter episode, full housekeeping for the guests. Justin and I are planning to record. So if you're looking for us to talk about Chris Paul, who I'm definitely not upset got cut from the Clippers immediately within like 6 hours of Carlton and I recording and dropping that episode last week. Yeah, definitely not bad timing there at all. But if you're looking for that discussion, if you're looking for Giannis Watch, which has now officially reached its apex, it seems like that's going to be coming up on Saturday. However, Chase is here. We're going to talk some Magic with Franz Wagner, thankfully avoiding, big time injuries still, but not quite the season ender it looked like when it happened. And we're going to talk some NBA Cup as well. The first round, or should I say the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup are about done at this point. Two games fully in the books. One game virtually decided, and we'll have to wait and see. You won't get the result of Lakers and Spurs. We'll talk about that on Saturday as well. Leave us a review on iTunes, good or bad. We'll read them on the podcast. If you're not an Apple user, Google Play Store, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Player FM, anywhere you find a podcast, you can find us. Of course, watch the show on YouTube as well. Of course, Chase has this majestic background that he had last time he was on here as well. So it's always a positive. You can see our smiling faces. And now a word from our sponsors. All right, yeah. So Chase did the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit earlier, but it really does feel like that with Franz. Because I remember I texted our guy Andy Jordan, friend of the podcast as well, when Franz went down, and we just said that it was basically like, oh my God, it's over. It looked like a season ender. Now when he went down, this is past Sunday now against the Knicks, in a regular season game. Much to the relief of Magic fans everywhere, he suffered just a high ankle sprain, and so it's looking like the timeline is about, what is it, 2 to 4 weeks right now is the timeline for Franz. I'm guessing more like the 4 with a high ankle sprain. Those things tend to linger. They just you can't really you just can't treat them as well as lower ankle sprains. You can't brace them. You can't. I'm not about to give you a whole doctor spiel, but Chase, the biggest thing for me here is because we've already seen this Magic team has not really been 100% the entire year. Obviously, Paolo Banchero has missed a ton of time, and now he's finally back. And so, of course, that's the cruelness of this, right? Is that as soon as you get Paolo back, Franz is out now. But I think where the Magic did a pretty good job of surviving the Paolo absence and being able to stay afloat. I don't know that they'd have stayed afloat without Franz the rest of the season. Like Franz just feels like he is the Magic don't have the reinforcements there. They can't replace what he does to this team.
No, and it's kind of surprising. And I think the downside to Paolo being out is it created this weird discourse of, oh, are the Magic better without Paolo? Like there's that weird discourse that happened. It was kind of what was it? I think Bill Simmons coined it the Patrick Ewing syndrome, where like
Ewing
Patrick
theory,
Ewing
yeah,
the Ewing theory, where like people, or like your star player goes out, they play better. Oh, are they actually a better team without this guy? No, it's just this, that, and the other. And so it's great to have both like Franz and Paolo, but I think what this injury also did, I'm gonna be like Andy Jordan, try to find like the positives in all of it. It helped reawaken Desmond Bane, because that was also shortly after the heave 3 against the Blazers that goes in, and it kind of starts triggering all these things. Now, all of a sudden, people start knowing their role in this offense. We're starting to see Anthony Black step up. You saw Jalen Suggs step up. Obviously, Desmond Bane, which proved like immediately, hey, all those picks were worth it just for like those games. Because I don't think we even got a single game like that from KCP. Like just to throw that fact out there to show that like, hey, this is how much we needed this. When we thought we got the guy with KCP, we didn't get this. We didn't get these 35 plus point games. And so seeing Franz being able to help step up into like this lead scorer role and being also this like lead enabler, seeing Desmond Bane take that step up as well, seeing Tristan da Silva also stepping up. Like the thing is like they weren't beating bad teams. Like they were facing really good teams and also winning. They lost to Houston overtime in a game that they kind of should have won. You beat Golden State. You beat I was about to say you beat the Clippers, but again, Clippers. You beat New York. You lose to Boston in a blowout game, but you start seeing your bench start to come alive. You're starting to see, oh, that's why we need more Jace Richardson. That's why we need more Noah Penda. Who was it? I think it was, we're going to, I guess, constantly reference him today. Andy texted me, he goes, I think that just got Tyus and Jonathan Isaac traded was that game. You see the win against Detroit. You would have thought with Paolo going out, the NBA Cup would have been a wash. But no, you're 4-0 in the NBA Cup, despite losing your best player. Losing Franz sucks, but what we're now also seeing, and we saw in the game against the Heat, is the fact that there's no depression within this team. There's no down in the dumps, no poor me. They just go, all right, who's going to do this? And now we see Paolo's becoming a little bit more aware, spreading out the ball a little bit. He was good, wasn't spectacular against the Heat. Obviously, Desmond Bane was great. Wendell Carter Jr., you're going to look at his box score and say that he's okay, meh. But what he's been doing with a lot of like his pick and rolls, all the placement, his defense, like Wendell Carter Jr. has been like quietly really good. Like you won't see it in the box score, but you'll see it in the ball movement. You'll see it in the movement of the floor. Goga Batadze also stepping up. This Magic team, this is what we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season. Not that 1-4 sluggish start. Like they're winning games, they're being gritty, they're pulling things out, and it's been refreshing because considering like that Sunday, we all thought that Franz was going to be done. Like we thought, all right, that's it. We got to throw away this season because there's nothing we can do now. But instead, it's only 2 to 4 weeks. They'll probably go more 4 to 5 because they like to take their time. And to answer your question, yeah, it's good to have the other person there just for backup. That was a really long answer to just say, yep.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of points to address. I mean, going back to Desmond Bane first, because I think that's the most important thing. And like all NBA Cup aside, obviously 37 points against the Heat in the NBA Cup victory. So, leading the way there. And more impressively, like you said, on a night where Banchero okay. I mean, he had 18 points, but he was super inefficient from the field largely. Like it was Jalen Suggs stepping up offensively. It was Wendell, like you talked about as well, gave them a solid 30 minutes. To your point, look beyond the box score. I think he was like -2 in that game, but he did other things well. I mean, Desmond Bane too. It's also just like a little bit of coming back to earth. Like Desmond Bane, who's been traditionally one of the better shooters in the NBA over the past few seasons, just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn to start the season. I mean, my guy basically took until the middle of November where he was shooting like below 30%, I think, overall, and where it's already up to close to 35% on the season. And if you look at the game log since November, like let's say 20th, really, that game against the Clippers that you mentioned, it really started to turn the corner there a little bit. And, part of it maybe is adjusting and getting it, we talk about the time that it takes for these guys to adjust to new systems. Like this is Desmond Bane coming into Orlando with a team that has expectations, like truly probably for the first time ever. Like I know they were good last year to an extent, but like this is the first year where I think more than just Orlando fans are expecting them to win something. And so, I think there's a little bit of that weight as well. I think too, give credit to Jamal Mosley. Like we haven't mentioned him yet, but like, this is a guy who, when that Magic season started, like that seat got kind of hot quick. And it's, that's coming off where 2 years ago where we were talking about like Jamal Mosley doing coach of the year type stuff, getting the most out of these guys. I give him a lot of credit too for stabilizing this locker room. You talk about that attitude, not letting it slump into the defeatist attitude, I should say, when, they have another setback injury wise here. Like it does I give them a lot of credit for having that fortitude. And it is some of the younger guys stepping up too. Like you talk about Anthony Black, like that was my big one the other night. Like, we've been talking now here for a few years. It's like, is Anthony Black going to develop? Like, can we count on him to play dependable minutes? He's going to get asked that question now, and he's good because he has to step up. And so far, like he's passing that test. That's the type of thing that makes you feel better about the Magic long term. Like, Paolo is going to be all right. Franz is great when he's back. I mean, Franz, that's what's unfortunate here too, is he's just in the middle of a career year. I mean, he's leading the Magic with points. He's been really efficient from the floor all year. Just continuing the great run after the Eurobasket over the summer. But yeah, I mean, it happening now in the beginning of the season, still well before the All-Star break. Like, you're right, this is the time to figure this out. It's better you're trying to survive now. And, they also just have the other luxury that every team in the Eastern Conference has, is that the seeding really isn't going to get out of hand here. Like, you're not worried about, these random games in December and November that are going to cost you potentially a home playoff series like they might in the Western Conference right now. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like you got to be. I mean, even as we speak, the Magic are the 4 seed currently. They're a half game back of Boston right now. And if Boston loses, they'll be tied. Like, Boston has the game in hand. They're up on Toronto, they're up on Philly, they're up on Cleveland. Like, it's all pretty condensed right now between 4 and, like, let's say all the way down to 9 with Atlanta. But you got a 4 game separation between 9 and 10 right now with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going nowhere fast. Obviously, we're going to talk about Giannis a little more on next episode. But yeah, I mean, this is the time to learn how to survive, like you said. And they've been doing a good job. Like, they played, you know, I don't want to say they played better basketball without Paolo, but they played surprisingly well without Paolo. And I think that's got to be the more encouraging thing than anything, is that they can survive these stretches.
Well, also, I think the other thing that's nice to see is that they're playing defense. This
Yeah.
was something that we didn't see in the beginning of the season. We're just like, how did one of the best defensive teams in the league only trade away essentially KCP because Cole Anthony was coming off the bench? You bring in Desmond Bain. How's your defense this bad? Like, that was the thing that we were all kind of flabbergasted by. It's not the bad shooting. We're used to the bad shooting, but we're used to bad shooting and good defense. When that good defense is gone, that's when we're just like, okay, what's happening here? And I think it is a bit of the development. And I think now that survivability aspect and them just having to step up and learn. Also, shout out to God Sham God, by the way, for Anthony Black's development, aka I guess his nickname's gonna be Tony Orlando now after that Prime broadcast gave him that nickname for helping develop him. I think also you mentioned Euroball. I think Euroball has done that team wonders.
Yeah.
Between not just Franz Wagner and Tristan da Silva, Goga Batadze as well for the Georgian team. Like, he was starting to develop a 3-point shot. Obviously, he's not been doing it much here, but he's been at least a little bit more active. You were seeing his play improve. So I'm waiting to see what happens at December, because I feel like December is where we're getting everything. That's when we'll start seeing a little bit more spacing. I don't know how long Boston can hold on to this good trend. I think if Boston is a top 4 team at the end of the season without Jason Tatum, I think you need to start giving Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year nods. And I think this was something that, I think I said this on the show multiple times. I wasn't sure if Joe Mazzulla was a good coach because he had, all this great talent. It's like, are you a good coach, or do you just have to just luck into this talent? And right now, he's got them in third without their best player, arguably a top 5 player in the NBA, which is just wildly impressive.
Yeah, he's right up there for sure. I mean, JB Bickerstaff, I think, is going to get a bunch of nominations too if Detroit keeps this up at 19-5. Or just give it to Mark Daigneault. I mean, here's the other thing too. Like, if OKC goes out and breaks this record, you certainly got to have him in that conversation as well. Switching gears to the NBA Cup a little bit, the Magic, as we mentioned, 117-108 winners over the Heat. They're going to play the Knicks now, 117-101 winners there. The Knicks over the Raptors to eliminate them. A little bit of spice, obviously, after the last game, not just the Wagner injury, but of course, you had Desmond Bain trying to play a little dodgeball there with OG and Ubi. I mean, and it kind of honestly got downplayed during the game a little bit, and everyone, that clip took off real quick afterwards, the fact. But I mean, definitely an entertaining matchup here. Certainly no love lost with these teams. It feels like the Knicks are starting to hit a groove. Obviously, you mentioned that Eastern Conference, they were probably the clear favorite in the conference going into this season. And it's starting to feel like, we're the Knicks basketball we're used to seeing, right? Like Brunson taking over late in games, Josh Hart and OG doing all the dirty work, Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble, just usual Knicks basketball activities.
Yep.
But no, I'm excited for the semis. Like, I hate, for all the Magic we've been talking, I do got to admit, I am picking the Knicks in this game. But either way, this should be a fun matchup.
It should be. I think I'll speak my bias and I'll say that the Magic, I think, can pull this off, because like it's honestly a toss up. Like, even the game where Paolo went down, they only lost by 6. So like, this isn't anything like, it wasn't like they lost by a lot because of the injury and all that. I think that I think both teams are kind of firing, not on all cylinders, but they're kind of picking up the pace a little bit, finding their stride, finding their groove. So I'll be biased and I'll straight up say the Magic. But I think it's going to be just like this absolute slugfest. I think a good thing that's in Vegas, because if that was at New York, every time Desmond Bane gets the ball, it's just going to be a boo fest the entire time.
I'm kind of bummed it's not. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, that side talk would have been so good. Just like after that game of like, if the Magic win, like all the press Knicks fans, oh, that would have been so good. Or just like just seeing any side talk of just like trashing Desmond Bane.
Well, so here's the counterpoint. If you're the Knicks, so it's interesting because the two teams that have won the NBA Cup so far, you have the Lakers, who have obviously won everything, and you've got the Bucks, who won the finals with Giannis a few years ago. So like they've already won the big prize. Yeah, how do you feel about this NBA Cup when if you're the, because like objectively you should be excited about it, but like I feel like you can't like, I don't want to say it downplays in a way the eventual celebration that would ever happen if the Knicks win the title in New York City is going to be like it just might, the island of Manhattan might just sink into the earth. Like that might be it from all the celebration. Like it's going to be one of those type of ones because it's obviously been so long and because the Knicks just are, I say this all the time with the other three major sports, it's all split in New York. Everybody in New York likes the Knicks. Like respect to the Nets, but like that's a Jersey team. That's not New York team.
That's a Jersey team.
And so, but at the same time, like you can't pop early and win the NBA Cup, right? Like you should objectively be excited about this, but like I almost in a weird way, like don't want it to take away from their first eventual drought breaker being the real thing, right?
Yeah, like that's been the thing. Because I think didn't we? When I say we, I just mean like NBA fans. Didn't we make fun of the Lakers for raising a banner for the NBA Cup?
See, it was like yes and no because like I'm torn because a part of me is like, well, you shouldn't raise a full banner. And so I actually think the Lakers kind of did it right in the sense that they didn't raise a full individual banner for it. They basically put up one banner and said, "Hey, this is going to be our collective banner when we win the NBA Cup. So if we win, six of these, for example, they'll just keep bringing the one down and adding the patch or whatever every single year. Because I mean, that's a joke with LeBron, right? Like, so what is, or even Giannis, if you want to say, so what is like Giannis have 1.5 titles now because he's the NBA Cup? Like, does Bron have 4.5 titles? Like, what is it? And I'm an NBA Cup guy for the record. Like I do actually enjoy this. I think it gives teams things to play for. Like it, there are formatic tweaks I would change here a little bit, but I really do like this. And I think the guys for even if it's just for the money, whatever it takes, like they do, it feels like they're playing hard here. Like for example, OKC taking this seriously, they're steamrolling. It went final. Not quite a 50-point victory, only a cool 49-point victory over the Suns tonight, 138-89. Good Lord. I mean, we talked a bunch of OKC last week, so I'm not going to talk about, but like they are kind of approaching Death Star status. It's pretty crazy now.
Oh my, it's so gross, that team. Like, and I know we've talked about them previously, like last time I was on, like we thought that there was going to be at least like some form of hangover. And it's
they've lost once.
What they lost once? How the hell is this team like find its stride after the off season when everybody's rusty? They're like, all right, cool, business as usual, boys, and they just go off. Like, how did they lose to Portland of all teams? Also,
good for Portland. Portland's competitive this year. Don't do. I mean, it was only by 2 points. That's what's crazy too. Is they literally the only game they lost was by 2 points.
Like, yeah, but it's like, of all the teams to beat them, I wouldn't have said Portland.
No, I know. Like, 9-15 Portland, whose head coach got arrested for gambling at the start of the year.
Oh yeah, I think that was the thing. Like that, I'm trying to remember the box score again. So like I'm looking back and it's like I'm seeing this like graph of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Thunder. Oh crap, and then it just sinks immediately down to Portland. Like they had a 20-point lead at one point, and then it just went away.
Yeah, I mean, just defensively, they've been an absolute wagon. It's they look really good. There's no way around it. It's hard to find a flaw the way they're playing right now. Haven't had Jalen Williams for the majority of the season. They're still rolling out these wins. They very well may. I mean, look, they're on track. I mean, they were in the NBA Cup Finals last season when they lost to Milwaukee. It certainly seems like they're taking it seriously this go around. So, they're going to be awaiting the winner of the Lakers and the Spurs. That's about to tip off here. The big controversy in that one is that the Lakers are using the regular floor. There was an issue with the NBA Cup floor, so they're using their like regular season floor. So, if you're a floor guy and you're into that, watch out for that one tonight.
Again, so I think the Magic did that as well. They had their regular season floor as well, which is unfortunate because I like their floor. I feel like I like the more colorful floors, minus the Timberwolves. That one I just feel like we honestly just need to just chroma key a movie on it. The entire chroma key, you know what? Or it's December, chroma key Die Hard on it, and it's like, oh man, he's taken just from Bruce Willis's face. That's how far Anthony Davis or Anthony Edwards. Whoa, wrong person. That's how far he's shooting from. Like, put on a movie. Like, that's ridiculously how bright that is.
It really is remarkable how when everyone goes to NBA like cup bad floor, like it immediately just go. It's not the bright red one. It's not any of the neon blue. Everybody goes right to Minnesota, and they are 100% right about it. You're right. Green screen, whatever. And don't green screen quite anything on it. I don't know if I'm like fully condoning that, but like they should do a movie or something right now. You're right.
It is the Hobo Johnson Tiny Desk concert of floors. It is universally the worst ever. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch a clip of Hobo Johnson on Tiny Desk. It is so bleeping awful. And even everyone on Twitter is just like coming together, just like, music is dead.
I'm genuinely excited. I've never seen this before, so I know what I'm doing immediately after we wrap this up. So thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. I already love Tiny Desks. I needed no selling to go watch that. Now I'm 100% doing it immediately. Leave us a review on iTunes, good or bad. We'll read them on the podcast. If you're not an Apple user, anywhere you find a podcast, you can find us. Watch the show on YouTube. Just search Drive and Dish NBA podcast. Thank you to our guy, Chase Bunker, WOKV's Chase Bunker, our sixth man officially here on the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. Like we said, a little appetizer to get you guys through the week. We're going to get Justin back, of course. Is that are you trying to do that? That's not the 303. You just throw that up. What are the 2 threes?
I was trying to do the 3 for the 6 man, but the problem is because I have a background, it kept removing fingers, and so it looked like it was just blurring out my middle finger. But no, I can do the 303 instead, which I saw the other day because who was it? Somebody had a game with 3 touchdowns and then had 0 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, and then 3 touchdowns. I forget who it was, and it just made me think of 303. So yeah, this will be the 6-man logo now.
There we go. Can't trust that stat line, no doubt about it. We'll see you guys on Saturday.